Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Cristiano Ronaldo issues demand to Manchester United after being substituted in the 2-1 defeat to Young Boys. Cristiano Ronaldo scored against Young Boys. That's 3 goals in 2 games. Ronaldo scored twice on his second debut against Newcastle last Saturday. Ronaldo wants Manchester United to stay confident despite the loss. Prior to the game, Ronaldo said Manchester United can win the Champions League. Prior to the game, Solska said it's not impossible to leave Cristiano Ronaldo out of the team. Solskjaer insists that he doesn't have to play Ronaldo every game. When Ronaldo returned, he did a speech to his Man United teammates. He demands more for his Man United teammates. Cristiano Ronaldo has hinted that he's looking to stay at Manchester United beyond his current contract. Ronaldo signed a 2-year contract with Man United with an option of a 3rd year. Ronaldo receives £480,000 a week, so he's the highest earner at Man United. We got him in a deal worth £19.8 million. Ronaldo wears the number 7 shirt. Ronaldo was our final signing of the summer transfer window. Solskjaer did mention that we are the favourites for the title with Ronaldo. Ollie is out of excuses. The tactics were wrong yesterday. Ollie shouldn't have taken Donnie van de Beek off at half time, because I've got to say Donnie van de Beek was our best player in the first half. His movement was good, he kept the ball well, got into very good positions, and he passed the ball well. Prior to the game, Solskjaer did mention that Donnie van de Beek has been working hard to get into the team. Prior to the Newcastle game, Solskjaer said he's prepared to play Donnie van de Beek in a 2-man midfield. Solskjaer hints at a new role for Donnie van de Beek this term. The other week, Donnie van de Beek told Ole Gunnar Solskjaer his best position. Van de Beek reckons he'd be best served operating as a number 6 or as a number 8. Solskjaer shouldn't have taken Ronaldo off, and he shouldn't have taken Bruno Fernandes off yesterday. He shouldn't have started Wan-Bissaka, because I said prior to the game that Wan-Bissaka needed a rest, because he was very poor against Newcastle last Saturday. Wan-Bissaka got sent off in the game yesterday because he stamped on Martins, and that changed the complexion of the game. Solskjaer shouldn't have brought Jesse Lingard on. Jesse Lingard cost us the game right at the end because he played that back pass. I'm hoping we can offload Jesse Lingard in January. I think we want 12 million for Lingard ahead of the January transfer window. The other week, Lingard rejected a new Man United contract offer over playing time concerns, despite him being in the last year of his deal. Earlier on in the summer, Lingard returned the snubbed the return to West Ham. Last season, Lingard enjoyed a 4-month loan spell with West Ham and he made an impact. Earlier on this season, Solskjaer did confirm that Lingard remains part of his plans. Solskjaer didn't start Raphael Varane yesterday. He should have started Raphael Varane. I'm surprised he didn't start. He did come on in the game. We started Lindelof ahead of Varane. But a lot of Man United fans are confused over Solskjaer's substitutions yesterday. And obviously now there is Man United fans that are Ollie out, reflecting on that loss. Obviously I'm still Ollie in. You know, it's only one defeat. It's only the first game of the group stage. I'm still convinced Man United will get to the knockout stages of the Champions League. We've enjoyed a good start to the season in the Premier League. We've won 3 games out of 4. We've registered 10 points from a possible 12. We are sitting top of the Premier League at the moment. You know, this season is absolutely massive for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And he is aware of that because Ole has got big expectations to exceed. Solskjaer's ambition for this season is to win the Premier League. We haven't won the Premier League since 2013. And a few weeks ago, it said Solskjaer privately views Chelsea as Man United's biggest title rival ahead of Man City and Liverpool. And before the start of the season, Solskjaer talked up Man United's title hopes. But Solskjaer has to win a trophy this season. He's not yet won a trophy as Man United manager. We haven't won a trophy since 2017. That's nowhere near good enough to our standards. This season is Solskjaer's 3rd full season as Manchester United manager. He's managed over 150 games as Man United manager in all competitions. Before the start of the season, Solskjaer signed a new contract with the club until 2024. There's an option of a further year. We made a mistake giving him that new contract, because I can assure you won't see it out. Like I've said to you so many times before, the reason Solskjaer is still Manchester United manager is because he's a legend of the club. Disregarding being a legend of the club, I'd be very sceptical he'd be here now, because we've enjoyed very bad periods under Ollie where he's been very close to getting sacked. Solskjaer's been in charge of Man United now for almost 3 years. He would have been in charge for 3 years in December. I've told you, my 2 biggest concerns about Ollie is that he hasn't got a proven pedigree as a manager, and his decision making concerns me because analysing the vast majority of the games he's managed at Man United, he's been tactically naive. Reflecting how long he's been at the club though, he has gained some managerial experience and he's learnt quite a bit on the job. Like I said to you though, when we have been inconsistent, and when we are inconsistent, Ollie is accountable for certain things, like, you know, his decision making and that, but not all of the blame stems from him. Obviously, there's certain players that have got to take responsibility, because there's still some players at Man United that are not good enough to represent the club. You know, I don't think Fred's good enough, Matic isn't good enough, Martial isn't good enough, don't think Lingard's good enough, Lindelof isn't good enough. So there you go. And I don't like the way the football club has been run for a long time. Like I've said to you, the Glazers, they've been one of the biggest issues at the club for a long time. The main reason is because they've put Manchester United in so much debt. The Glazers have been at Man United for 16 years. They purchased the club for 500 million back in 2005. But the Glazers backed Solskjaer in this year's summer transfer window, but only because the Glazers had been persuaded to back him, because towards the end of last season, you know, United fans were protesting at the Carrington training ground against the Glazers. Then they started protesting outside Old Trafford because the Glazers were planning to scrap the Champions League for that European Super League. But Solskjaer did reveal that the Glazers apologised. Towards the end of last season, it said the Glazers could have been forced to sell Man United, but for only £4 billion. And Woodward, he's been one of the biggest issues at the club for a long time. Despite that though, Woodward has stood by Solskjaer, and Woodward has said several times before that he'd back Solskjaer, and when we was enduring them bad periods under him, Woodward assured that Solskjaer's job was safe. It got announced Woodward was leaving Man United back in April when that European Super League came into the equation. Ed Woodward has had a 16-year association with the club. So there you go. There's not all negativity regarding Solskjaer. There's things I've got to credit him for. I think Solskjaer has made good signings as Manchester United manager. Solskjaer has signed 14 players in total so far, and we've spent like 441 million under the Solskjaer era. Ollie's also got rid of a lot of players since he's come in, which he knew he had to do. He's got rid of players permanently. He's let quite a few players go out on loan. In Solskjaer's first full season, he got us to 3 semi-finals and got us a 3rd place finish. In his second full season, which was last season, he got us to the EFL Cup semi-final, the FA Cup quarter-final, got us to the Europa League final last season. That was his first major final as Man United manager. And he got us a 2nd place finish last season. We've got a very good away record in the Premier League. We haven't lost away from home in the Premier League since January 2020. So I think we are unbeaten in our last, 27, 28 Premier League away games. Solskjaer has more or less given everybody their chances to express themselves, including the young players, and I like the way Solskjaer develops the youth. And we have extended a lot of players' contracts under Ollie. That's also another positive. But I've heavily criticised Solskjaer during his managerial tenure at Man United, but I've had my reasons behind it. We enjoyed a very good summer transfer window this year. You know, we made 4 signings. We brought Tom Eaton in on a free from Aston Villa, brought Jadon Sancho in from Borussia Dortmund, brought Rafael Varane in from Real Madrid, and we re-signed Cristiano Ronaldo after 12 years. In this year's summer transfer window, we spent around 140 million or 141 million. And in this year's summer transfer window, Solskjaer received the backing he deserved. Like I said, the Glazers backed him, John Murtough backed him. John Murtough is our director of football, and we certainly made the right decision getting a director of footballing, because I did mention that's one of the structural changes we needed at the club. And Darren Fletcher also backed him, and we certainly made the right decision getting Darren Fletcher back in, because Darren Fletcher knows the club through thick and thin. We didn't sign a midfielder in the summer transfer window, which was very disappointing. We went in for a few midfielders in the summer transfer window. We went in for Solskjaer. He joined Chelsea on loan. Went in for Eduardo Camavinga. He signed for Real Madrid. Also went in for Ruben Neves from Wolves. And we went in for Declan Rice. I recently give you the news on Declan Rice. Solskjaer is confident on the Declan Rice transfer. Man United identified Declan Rice as #1 midfield transfer target for next summer. Declan Rice is likely to leave West Ham next summer as he targets a club offering Champions League football. I think the price tag of Declan Rice is £100 million. When the summer transfer window was open, it did mention that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants Declan Rice, and Declan Rice mentioned he was unhappy with West Ham's £100 million price tag. Rice has rejected a few contract offers at West Ham. He's got 3 years left on his contract at West Ham. So I'm hoping we can sign a midfielder in January or next summer. We only managed to sell one player in the summer transfer window, and that was Daniel James. We sold him to Leeds for 25 million. The reason we sold Daniel James is because we re-signed Cristiano Ronaldo. So that was disappointing. We did loan a few players out in the summer transfer window. We loaned Brandon Williams out to Norwich. We loaned Ethan Laird out to Swansea. We loaned Andres Pereira out to Flamengo. We loaned Axel Tuanzebe out to Villa. We loaned Pelistri out to Alaves. And we loaned Tahith Chong out to Birmingham. But the players I want to leave next year, we need to offload Martial, because Martial isn't good enough to represent the club. Don't forget, Martial rejected the chance to join Lyon on loan on deadline day. Before the start of the season, it said Solskjaer refuses to sell Martial, as Martial remains part of his plans. Like I said, we need to sell Lingard next year. We need to let Mata go next year. Mata will probably leave at the end of the season when his current contract expires. Earlier on this year, Juan Mata signed a 1-year contract extension. Next year we've got to offload Matic, we've got to offload Fred, we've got to offload Phil Jones, we've got to offload Diego Dalot. So there you go. Ollie is our 4th permanent manager since Ferguson. The three managers we've sacked since Ferguson, we sacked David Moyes after 10 months. He's the worst manager we've probably had. We sacked David after 10 months, and we finished 7th under the David Moyes era. That's the lowest we finished in the Premier League era. Moyes should never be Man United manager. Ferguson was at fault for recommending him in when he retired. We sacked Van Gaal after 2 years, despite him winning the FA Cup, and we sacked Jose Mourinho after 2.5 years, despite him winning the Europa League, the League Cup and the Community Shield in his first season. Also got us a second place finish in his first season, so you can say Mourinho did enjoy one good season at Man United. Apparently we've got like the third most expensive squad in world football behind PSG and Man City. Our squad's worth around 805 million. We must have brought a good 42, 43, 44 players in since Ferguson retired. But like I said to you, we haven't been the same team since Ferguson retired. A lot of United fans predicted it was all going to go wrong when he retired. Ferguson enjoyed what a 26-27 year tenure at Man United, won 30 odd trophies including 13 Premier Leagues. So reflecting on that, Fergie brought success to the club, but Fergie didn't settle in straight away because he didn't win out in his first 4 years at Man United. So that just indicates it takes some managers time to settle in. This is why I've said of in regards to Solskjaer, he does deserve at least this season. Yesterday I gave you the news on Paul Pogba. Paul Pogba's brother, Matthias Pogba, has been talking. He said Paul Pogba has not yet decided his future, and he said that Paul Pogba's contract situation is up in the air. David Ornstein said recently from The Athletic that Paul Pogba is leaning towards signing a new Man United contract after the Cristiano Ronaldo impact. Before the start of this season, Pogba rejected a new Man United contract. Pogba's current contract at Man United expires next summer. He said earlier on this season that Pogba's very likely to leave Man United on a free next summer. Defensa Central said the other week that Pogba favours a switch to Real Madrid over the PSG deal. Real Madrid have been relentlessly linked with Pogba. A couple of years ago, Pogba said he's seeking for a new challenge, and he spoke about Real Madrid and his relationship with Zinedine Zidane. A report by 2O Sports said the other week that Juventus want to re-sign Pogba. He enjoyed 4 good years with Juventus before he rejoined Man United, and earlier on the season it said PSG are looking at getting him next summer. Pogba was anonymous yesterday against Young Boys, but prior to that he's had a good start to this season. He's already got 7 assists. He produced good performances for Man United in the last couple of months of last season, but one point last season he had a thigh injury and he's sustained some ankle injuries at Man United. Pogba's agent Mino Raiola has been working hard to get Pogba out of the club. He's done a lot of talking. He made an announcement back in December last year saying that Pogba's career at Man United was over. He said he's unhappy and he has to leave, and he had no intentions of extending his contract. Mino Raiola doesn't have a good relationship with Man United. We're very critical of him. This season is Pogba's 6th season at Man United since he rejoined. We paid 89 million for him, so he's our most expensive signing at the moment, and Pogba's won 3 trophies at the club so far. We had him when he was a lot younger under the Sir Alex Ferguson era, but had to let him go due to limited appearances. You know the news on Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes wants to stay at Man United, and there's a good chance we're going to offer him a new contract. Fabrizio Romano did say that talks have been ongoing since July between Manchester United and the agent of Bruno Fernandes over a new contract. So anyway guys, that's everything to update you today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.